And we're back, folks. Trooper Barry here with you. And we're about to jump into the demo for I'm Making a Monster. So this is also by the folks at Zorky Studio, the same people who brought us Quality Dreams, reasonably priced. One of the demos we played during the Choose Wisely Festival. Um, the festival is gone, as you can tell by the lack of the banner up top, but I do still want to play through some of the remaining demos that we didn't get to during that 1 week. This is the prologue for the game. Two-person team based in Canada. Yay! Canada mentioned. So the idea, basically, we're making a monster, and our friends keep interrupting us with, out of love, we assume. Yeah. Much love for Canada. Okay, yeah, these are some uh, pretty basic settings there. Oh, we'll check the content warnings. Um, Off-screen death, mentioned self-neglect, and using distractions to run from issues. I mean, what else are distractions for, if not to run from issues? I mean, why does Twitch.television exist, if not to distract us from issues? I say definitely joking. Okay, anyway, before I linger on that thought too long, let's get into the prologue for I Am Making a Monster. Oh, so we have Ophir and we have Sonnet. And no, I mean, we got a whole bunch of pronouns. Oh, okay, Ophir, Sonnet. Okay, the first name, last name. Okay. And we got they, she, he, it. Okay, I can never figure out how to pronounce some of these. Ze, per, fe, a. Is it? Okay, the Chinese is kicking in. I want to say she, but again, that could be, that could be the Chinese pronunciation getting in the way of however it's supposed to be said. And my deepest apologies to anyone who uses those pronouns. No shade on you. I've never heard them spoken aloud. I've only ever seen them written down. Wait, change pronoun every time? Every scene? Oh. You know what? I'm just gonna leave that as is. Yeah, we'll let the game do what it was intended to do. Yeah, they include the option. Yeah, it's really really cool of them. Um, yeah, you didn't have that level of customizability in Quality Dreams, but the character you control, um, Jin, they use any all pronouns. So you know what have you. Like I said, that removes that issue from the table. Anyway, excuse me. Hey, let me hydrate here real quick. Okay, the year leading up to it was much like any other. The moments loop in Ophir's mind, ceaseless and rough as river rapids. If they had known. Ophir is at the beach. They're guarding the spot Delaney claimed while she grabs snacks. Don't move an inch, she'd said. Ophir considers the blowing sands lifted by the chilly breeze coming off the water, then looks up to the clear sky. They wish they'd brought a book. They shiver slightly. Summer wasn't supposed to be so cold. This art, it really does look like you're looking at a like watercolor on like, how do I even describe it? It's like good cardstock. Like you're looking at it like an actual watercolor. It's really impressive. Yeah, it's a two-person team, but whichever of those two people is in charge of the art, they go hard. Don't move an inch. Oh, well, okay, Delaney said don't move an inch. We'll wait. Ophir lies back and closes their eyes. Why not let themselves be pampered for once? Could they have shared more time together? Excuse me. Ophir reclines against the park bench. Delaney left to use the bathroom, and Ophir's been conjuring small flames above their fingers to pass the time and keep the autumn chill at bay. As you do. The bench is hard and his seat awkwardly angled. Ophir shifts uncomfortably. They notice some movement in the corner of their eye and turn to see a sausage vendor. The sign proclaims a sale of homemade apple cider. Well, no, we'll wait for Delaney. Ophir doesn't really like apple cider and can't remember Delaney's opinion on it. Getting it for something no one wants is an unnecessary hassle. After some time, Delaney returns. Shall we? She asks. Ophir leans back on the terrible bench. I'm not sure. I was just figuring out the ideal position to not be incredibly uncomfortable on this demonic piece of wood. Delaney smiles. I'll leave you to it then. Or, she asks. Or you could help me exorcise the demon and we could trap and study them. You've got my attention. What do we need for an exorcism? Exorcism time. Sort of. The two begin an intense but leisurely walk and talk speculating on demons, exorcisms, and summoning circles. I don't think we need to give up just because there aren't any recorded sightings of demons. Or proof of their existence? Delaney laughs. All the more glory for us once we catch this one. Many plans are formed, but alas, nothing comes of them. The sun begins to set, and goodbyes are made. We'll get them next time, Delaney promises. Could they have stopped it? It's New Year's Eve, and Ophir is at Abella's. They're chatting with Max about their new job. Corey comes by with champagne flutes. I don't know what Delaney's doing in the kitchen, but she said to disturb her at your peril. Max laughs and takes a proffered glass. We'll need to take a look then. Okay, if we're going for a theme here, we're respecting Delaney's wishes. So she wouldn't have said disturb her at her peril, unless she meant it, I assume. I don't know. Last time I pushed her, she made good on the threat. What happened? Max asked, wide-eyed. Ophir looks away sheepishly. I don't want to talk about it. Max turns to face the others. Abella? If Ophir doesn't want to talk about it, then you won't hear it from me. Corey? I'm so glad you asked, you see. Corey, Abella groans. Come on, it wasn't that bad. You don't really mind, do you, Ophir? I don't know, do I mind? You know what? I do mind. No, I do mind, Ophir says. Oh, my bad then. Corey frowns. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. Ophir smiles. No harm done. Anyone want to bet on what Delaney is up to in the kitchen? Mask asks. And then the conversation flows to other places from there. Is everything inevitable? So it sure seems like something ominous is about to happen. There are fresh tulips on the windowsill. Delaney brought them over. She'd said they were the first blooms of the year. She left a few minutes ago, and Ophir is cleaning up the dishes for their shared lunch. They had argued or they had bickered. Bicker definitely has more of a negative connotation, although I think this is going to go poorly either way. They had argued over the components of a new spell, and Delaney had said something very hurtful. The flowers and lunch were an apology. The room feels emptier now that she's gone. Call her or finish her? Well, I'm not sure. Call, I guess. And I mean, if Delaney has reached out and made an apology, that's okay. Ophir picks up the phone and rings Delaney. She picks up after a few seconds longer than usual. Sorry, I couldn't find my headphones. What's up? I was just thinking of you and wanted to chat a bit longer. She laughs. You're seeing me on Thursday. The two chat for the rest of her trip home. They discuss an album release, a controversial new toy line, and the merits of different flowers in strength-increasing potions. But Thursday... ... But Thursday never comes. Ophir won't see Delaney again. A month passes. There are many monsters in our stories. Some come from folklore and seek to tempt, harm, or devour. Others come from history. They have already tempted, harmed, and devoured. Monsters, stories, harm. Um, I'm not entirely sure where is this. Oh yeah, do we have a save option? Oh no, that's the record. No, no save option. We're we're here for the ride. Okay. Oh, the wounds monsters inflict are deep and slow to heal. They are often too easy to ignore, despite how their edges fester and rot. We were tempted. We are harmed. We will be devoured. All monsters leave scars on us, though the scars themselves vary. And these scars sometimes birth their own monsters. Monsters born of our skin, of our pain, our isolation. Scars, monsters, birth. Are we? I think we're seizing on one aspect of the dialogue here. Monsters born of us contain us within them. Their eyes are mirrors, and we tremble in their sight. Sometimes we create the monster. Sometimes we become it. Ophir Sonnet has a raw and angry scar. It itches and bleeds their soul. No matter how they howl, it will not cease its scratching. And then one day, Ophir has been shut in the room for a month. They have not eaten a proper meal in more than a week. They have only drunk water under extreme duress. Today, Ophir opens the door to their room of their own volition. A rare occurrence their friends will be equally excited and nervous about. M stumbles from its dark depths with a dehydrated wobble to their step. Fumbling for some scrap paper and tearing off the lid to a pen, Ophir drops onto a stool and begins to sketch. Fervor and ink splatter onto page after page in unsteady strokes. Hours later, After hours, during which friends come over and find Ophir, are relieved to see them out of the room, then distraught to find Ophir unable to tear themselves from their work. Ophir holds up a final page of formulas and diagrams. So we can be triumphant, or we can despair. I don't know. We don't. I don't. I fear. Exclaiming in triumph we might hurt ourselves. No, they say. I'm not certain it can be done. Ophir slumps on their stool, resting their forehead against the desk. What can't be done? Exclamation mark. Ophir jumps at the sound, almost falling over in the process. They had noticed a friend crept in their kitchen while they worked. Abella leans out from the doorway, mixing bowl in hand, trying to hide her worry behind a smile. Ophir picks themselves up. They've never failed before, so I start believing they might now. Oh, Abella, they say. I'm trying to make something unlike anything I've made before. Abella continues stirring, waiting. She's played this game before. Something beautiful, something horrific, something redemptive, something reprehensible. Well, we are making a monster, as we've made pretty clear. We're trying to redeem ourselves? Question mark. I'm making, Ophir continues, something redemptive. Abella raises an eyebrow. Tell her the truth. I'm making a monster. The end. Oh. Oh, we got achievement for finishing the prologue, and we and we have the development dogs. We hope you enjoyed this prologue to I'm Making a Monster. Please consider leaving a review. Wish listing helps gain visibility and helps send you a notification when the game launches. We are a two-person team. Help feed our dogs! So the writing and development by Endelian Sherman. Yeah, I think they were the one who reached out by email. And then art UI and design. Okay, so Nez One Theta. So Nez there is the one who's giving the watercolor art. Yeah, well, they did say it'd be like 15 to 30 minutes tops. See, crediting fonts, music, sound effects. We appreciate that. And paper textures. Okay. You know what? Yeah, since that was so short, let's take another run through, and we'll do some different choices. Because as we saw, yeah, they do encourage at least one other playthrough. Okay, so let's jump back in. Yeah, so the year leading up to it, I assume like the it is our making of the monster. Okay, so now we're going to basically do the opposite of everything we did just previously. The Constanza approach. So we're going to go after Delaney. Ophir sets down their hat and throws some cheap sunglasses on top of it, hoping the combined weight won't be blown away. They take a second to admire their handiwork, then set off after Delaney. 2 minutes and 200 meters later, Ophir spots Delaney in a long ice cream line. She's balancing a melting slushie on a pizza box. She raises an eyebrow when she sees Ophir, but still smiles. Some spot-guard you are. Next time you can do the fetching. I'll take the easy job. Ophir smiles and picks up the pace to reach her. Snark back, but they'd been so lonely. But I was so lonely. I just couldn't bear another moment without you. Ophir bats her eyelashes dramatically. Delaney rolls her eyes. You talk like that, of course I'm going to cave. Ophir smiles. It's not my fault you're predictable. Delaney narrows her eyes. You're pushing it, Sonnet. My bad. You are wonderful, and I wanted to experience the loveliness of waiting in line for food alongside you. She grins. That's more like it. She glances at the food in her hands. While you're waiting here with me, you might as well help me carry this. She hands off the food and Ophir laughs. I suppose this is my deserved punishment. Could they have shared more time together? Okay, so same as before. So we waited previously. We don't know her opinion on apple cider. So screw it. We're going to get some apple cider. Ophir gets up and stretches their arms, loosening the stiffness inflicted by the bench. Delaney probably likes apple cider, but really any excuse to leave the bench is a good one. The line of the cart is short. After a few minutes, Ophir returns to the bench holding 2 steaming paper cups. Delaney is back and is standing rather than confronting the bench. Ophir smiles and hurries over. Could they have stopped it? It's New Year's Eve and Ophir's at Abella's. Okay, so this time we're going to agree with Max and storm the kitchen. Yeah! Ophir grins. Absolutely. Max begins to run for the kitchen. Okay, so we can sneak over instead, or say, onward! I think we'll let Max take the brunt of the blow. Wait, we need to maintain the element of surprise if we don't want to be cursed. Oh, cursed? Well, Max pauses. Good point. As they approach, Ophir notices a distortion around the doorway. She's warded it. Can you break it? So we can say yes, or if it's warded, maybe this is more serious than you thought. Okay, so we're proceeding as though that ward wasn't there. Yes, we can do it. What do you take me for? Give me a candle in 5 minutes, and this time this ward will be gone. On it! Max gives us a mock salute and runs off. 5 minutes and 1 candle later. The kitchen door unlocks with a soft pop. Ophir and Max look at each other before Max grins and pushes it open. Delaney is standing in the middle of the room, hands covered in glitter, raising an unimpressed eyebrow. Why am I not surprised? Ophir laughs. You were goading Max. I just came to help with the wards. She smiles back. Maybe I was. Max is over by the cauldron on Abella's stove. What is this? Then they notice the smell. Ophir takes a deep breath, scenting berries and ozone. You did it. I did, she says. And since you barged in, neither of you are getting any. It's a memory spell, Ophir explains to Max, who hadn't studied potions. One of friendship. It reminds of good times now past, and solidifies the night you drink for you to cherish. Solidifies the night you drink for you to cherish. It's a lot of work. That's so sweet, Delaney. Too bad you won't be partaking of it then. She sniffs, but Ophir is still smiling. They know that this time, Delaney doesn't mean it. So 1 candle wax cleaned up later. We gotta infiltrate the kitchen. Ophir was right. Delaney begrudgingly shares her potion. What follows is a night of reminiscence and wonder. It's a night that will stay with all of them for a very long time. Okay, so now once again with the tulips, sort of an argument where we're going to say they bickered. I don't love that, but oh, they had bickered amicably over lunch, Delaney pestering Ophir about their love of bad movies, and Ophir calling out her love of other equally bad movies. Is that bickering though? It feels like playful jousting. The room feels emptier now that she's gone. Okay. If we're trying to spend as much time with her as possible, it feels like we should call her anyway. But we're trying to do everything. Okay, I'm assuming Yeah, I'm assuming that Delaney is doomed, and her sudden demise is what sends us, Ophir, into the spiral that eventually leads to the monster making. We'll finish our chores. Ophir refocuses on the dishes. They can recall Delaney later, but later never comes. Ophir won't speak to Delaney again. Okay. Right, so folklore come from history, monsters, we did harm last time stories. All stories are true, but to a degree which may vary. I don't know about that. And like all stories, this one is true in all the ways that matter. It's a story with a villain who tempts and harms and devours. All monsters leave scars on us, so the scars vary. All these scars are sometimes birth their own monsters, monsters born of our skin, our pain, our isolation. Scars are raw, or scabbed, or healed, somewhat independent of time. Depth has more to do with it than freshness. The scars that run deep can cut more than anyone might realize. And now, so we're back to Ophi. Okay, same as there. Okay, shut in our room for a month. Okay, we haven't eaten a proper meal in more than a week. Okay, so we are not in fact starving ourselves. Today, yeah. Hours later, triumph. It can be done. Ophi almost bounced up from the stool, but they lack the energy or coordination. Instead, they settle for lifting the page up, beaming at the word. Okay, so I was worried we might hurt ourselves if we did exult. What can be done? Okay, right, same as before. We're gonna make something beautiful? Question mark. I'm making something beautiful, but I'm making a monster. Okay, yeah. So I think we're so the prologue is very much the inciting incident. I tell you what, just because I okay, one more, just one more run, but we'll do it quick. I just want to see. So we'll go after her. Get apple cider. Storm the kitchen. Sneak over. We will break it. Notice the smell. We bicker amicably. We'll call her. Okay. Yeah. So that I think there's no maximum happy ending. One more. Yeah. I just okay. It's a little thing, but I wanted to see because we got like 2 achievements for what is a very brief demo. Okay, all monsters leave scars. Some monsters come from us. We shape them through our words and our actions. We give them truth, their name. They rise for us to tempt and harm and devour. Monsters are cruel, but not always cruel intentioned. This is not less than the shadow they cast over the world. They cut us and leave us to bleed. Okay. More despair. I'm going to make something horrific. Okay. Oh, anyway, so that was the demo for I'm Making a Monster. I think you can definitely see some of the artistic and I guess narrative kind of the same tissue with quality dreams, reasonably priced. And the atmosphere, I guess you might call it. There is definitely some some carryover there. So I should say yeah. So the so on the Steam page for the game there is no release date listed. Actually, so was Quality Dreams, is that out in full release? Yes. Okay. So that came out in September. So yeah, the team is working on this now. Um, but yes, I think the the music very very you know mellow. Um, the art really nice. I said the watercolor and the paper stock feel is it definitely it hits, it lands. Um, and yeah, I'm curious as what kind of monster are we making and why? Who knows? But yeah, this is just a prologue though, and as teasers go, it's effective. So anyway, we are going to leave it there. Uh, Twitch friends, please, hang on just a second. We'll go on to the next. YouTube friends, thank you for hanging out. And if everyone, if this kind of game does look interesting to you, please do wishlist. Check out the demo for yourself, and yeah, and wish listing helps a lot. Like I said, there it gives visibility, and you can find out updates about the game. Anyway, that's all the usual spiel. Thank you all for hanging out. We'll see you next time, and bye for now.